Welcome to Biological Anthropology. My name's Haley, and I'm going to teach you about primate cladistics. Classifying animals by similar traits and characteristics is known as cladistics. Cladistics can also show how closely related animals are, all the way back to a shared common ancestor. All primates are related to a common ancestral species, and branching clades show a series of adaptations which eventually lead to the evolution of humans. We divide primates into 5 groups: strepsirrhines, haplorhines, New World monkeys, Old World monkeys, and apes. The first diversion from the common primate ancestor is the strepsirrhines. This superfamily includes Lemmuroideae, Lorissoideae, and Galagidae. Common names of these species include mouse lemurs, dwarf lemurs, true lemurs, leaping lemurs, aye-ayes, lorises, and patos. Here are some traits of strepsirrhines. They have a wet rhinarium, indicating an importance of sense of smell. They have long tails, a dental comb, and a toilet claw. I'll show you an example of what that is in a moment. These are used for grooming and eating. Almost all lemurs are hind limb dominated quadrupedalists, which means they move on all fours or on their hind legs. They usually climb trees and leap from place to place. So their habitat is both the trees and the ground. The second diversion from the common ancestor is the haplorhines. This superfamily includes tarsiers and New World monkeys. The haplorhini refers to their simple noses. This trait is found in almost all primates here on, including haplorhines, Old World monkeys, and apes. This diversion is actually the start of several shared traits between almost all primates. Some of these traits include relatively flattened faces, forward-facing eyes, postorbital enclosure, dry noses, decreased reliance on sense of smell, larger brains and body size, diastema, and increased gestation, maturation, and parental care. The postorbital enclosure refers to the bony plate enclosing the back of the eye socket, and the diastema refers to the space between the upper lateral incisor and the upper canine tooth. I'll show you some visual examples so you know what I'm talking about. One species in this group are the tarsiers. Tarsiers are sometimes called living fossils because of their close resemblance to fossil primates dated about 40 million years ago. Their habitat is rainforests in the islands of Southeast Asia. They are very small, elusive, arboreal vertical climbers and leapers, and they are nocturnal or crepuscular, so they have very large eyes. They also have long tails with tufts of fur, long hind limbs, and they can turn their head a full 180 degrees. The next diversion of primate species is the New World monkeys. Next, we'll talk about New World monkeys. There are over 70 species of New World monkeys, including marmosets, tamarins, squirrel monkeys, capuchins, night monkeys, sakis, teetees, howler monkeys, and spider monkeys. In this species, we start to see opposable thumbs and toes, although they are not very dexterous. They all live in trees, with only some occasionally going to ground. Almost all are awake during the day, except, of course, the night monkey. Almost all are quadrupeds, and some have prehensile tails which can be used to grab things like branches. New World monkeys have flat noses with nostrils that are set far apart, wide open, and facing outwards. Here's an example of New World monkeys versus Old World monkeys, which we'll talk about next. Next, we have Old World monkeys. There are 2 subfamilies within Old World monkeys: Cercopithecidae, who have cheek pouches, and Columbinas, who are leaf eaters. Cercopithecidae include macaques, baboons, mandrills, and many others. They vary in size from 3 pounds to about 50 pounds. They have long snouts and muzzles with very narrow nostrils and close-set eyes. They also have long canine teeth for eating and fighting. They live primarily on the ground, but some species sleep on cliff faces or in trees. Cercopithecidae live everywhere from deserts, rainforests, and even snowy mountains. Here are some of their traits. They lack a prehensile tail. Their forelimbs are shorter than their hind limbs. They are quadrupedal. They have narrow nostrils that close together. They have well-developed opposable thumbs and big toes. There's a presence of ischial callosities in many species, which are hard pads on the lower sides of their buttocks for sitting. There's more sexual dimorphism. There's a visible estrus in females. And most are omnivorous, but some even hunt small animals. Here's a visual example of ischial callosities. The Columbinae family includes columbus monkeys and langurs. They're arboreal, quadrupedal folivores. That means that they live in trees, walk on all fours, and eat leaves. Therefore, they mainly live in forests and rainforests, including mangroves. They have long tails and come in a variety of colors, some of which can be quite exotic. They also have multi-chambered stomachs to break down tough plant cellulose. When it comes to dexterity, these primates have taken a step backwards because they have a vestigial thumb, so they can't use their hands very effectively. Here's a picture of a gray-shanked Duke langur, my personal favorite species in this subfamily. Next, we have the apes, or hominoids. Hominoids are divided into two families, Hylobididae, the lesser apes, and the Hominidae, the great apes. Hylobididae include gibbons and siamings. Hominidae include the great apes such as chimpanzees, bonobos, gorilla, orangutans, your ex-boyfriend, and humans. Traits of some of these species include a generally larger body size compared to other primates. They don't have tails. Their lower back is shorter and more stable. Their arms are longer than their legs, except in humans. And the anatomical differences in shoulder joints that facilitate suspensory feeding and locomotion. They generally have more complex behavior and more complex brains and enhanced cognitive abilities. They also have an increased period of infant development and dependency. Gibbons and siamings are known as the lesser apes. They're the smallest kinds of apes. They are arboreal, and they have very long arms with the thumb attached to the wrist so they can hook their hands around branches. They are frugivores, which means that they eat fruit, although they will still eat leaves, flowers, and small invertebrates as well. They also have ischial calluses like most Old World monkeys. They're very vocal primates, and calls are used for territorial defense, maintenance of the pair bond, and general communication. Monogamous couples will even serenade each other. Here we start to see more advanced social behavior. They're typically monogamous, and their offspring can live with them for up to 10 years. We also start to see a lot more vocalization. Last but not least are the Hominidae, the great apes. This includes chimpanzees, gorillas, orangutans, bonobos, and humans. The great apes are the largest of the primates. Male gorillas can grow up to 450 pounds. There's more sexual dimorphism, or difference in appearance between genders, in great apes than most primates. Mostly they are quadrupedal, but a unique trait of chimpanzees and gorillas are that they are knuckle walkers. Bonobos are often bipedal, like humans. Orangutans exhibit extreme sexual dimorphism, which means that the males and females look very different. Males have flanged cheeks. They both have elongated faces. They are solitary, only interacting to mate. Mothers will raise their young for 10 years, which is one of the longest periods of parenting among primates, besides humans. They are frugivores, but they also eat insects. Despite their large size, they are arboreal. They are also known to use tools. Gorillas live in small groups with complex social behavior and hierarchies. They exhibit bonding behaviors and vocalizations, which is quite advanced. Mountain gorillas are folivores, and lowland gorillas are frugivores. They spend most of their time foraging on the ground. Unfortunately, both gorillas and orangutans are critically endangered species. Chimpanzees, bonobos, and humans form the last and most advanced subspecies. Chimps live in a huge variety of habitats within West Africa. They have complex social structures within their groups of 10 to 100. They are vocal and often aggressive. They're actually known to defend territory by waging war on outsiders. Mothers and offspring have a strong bond. Chimps are omnivores and occasionally hunt small animals. They will use tools to forage and to hunt. Bonobos are our closest living relatives. They are talented bipedal walkers and even carry armloads of supplies while they walk. They are omnivores, but they don't hunt. Bonobos appear to have strong social bonds and complex societies. Males and females are practically equally dominant. They are one of the only species to have recreational sex, a trait that they are notorious for. Bonobos don't use tools that often, but they are much more emotionally complex. The last species of primates are humans. Yes, indeed, we did evolve from a common ancestor to the rest of the primates that I've mentioned so far. Here are some images to show the series of evolutions from monkeys to apes to humans. And with that, we've covered primates. I hope you learned a lot and enjoyed my video. Thanks for watching.